My name is Kevin Blake Lopez. I have completed the full stack bootcamp at Nucamp, and now I will present my portfolio project. I created this project with React, Tailwind, Express, and Postgres. This application can search for existing people via their name, add new people to the list, delete all people, and delete individual persons. Let me demonstrate the functionality of each component of the app. First, I will enter a string Jerry. Oh, let's see. First, I will enter a string Jerry in the search field, and then Jerry will be visible in the UI. Once I empty the input field and then click search again, then all the results will appear once again. At the present moment, there is a piece of state in the parent component that is a Boolean that gets triggered when the search field is empty, such that it causes the useEffect hook to run a function that fetches all people from the database and updates the state so that the UI renders all the results again. In the future, I want to explore how to cache the results so I don't have to fetch data from the Postgres instance each time. Currently, I can only get a search result if there is an exact match between this string and the first name. In the future, I want to use some regex so I can make the search component less sensitive so it doesn't have to be an exact match. Next, I'm going to add another person to the database. I'll add Newman to the database and click submit. Okay, so now Newman's added to the database and is also being rendered in the user interface. Next, I will add a duplicate entry. I'll just add Elaine in again. And so now we got two Elaines. And then I'm going to search for Elaine again. We got two Elaines showing up in the search results. So I'm going to want to remove one of these entries since it's a duplicate. And I'm going to click delete right here to get rid of one of them. And then once I've done that, now all the results are displaying again. Next, I will delete all the entries. As with all the buttons on here, I am both changing the data in the database and also updating the UI. Lastly, I've been attempting to write an update component. You can see the beginnings of this here with this button rendered, but I've been working on that, but it's not yet fully functional. It's had some bugs. I've decided to work on the update in the future. And so I've described some of my ongoing challenges that I have yet to resolve. One challenge I had that I did resolve was figuring out how to create the right type of state variables that would trigger a re-render. I finally realized I could just use a Boolean and that it would just be in the dependency array of the useEffect hook. But as I stated, I do want to eventually learn how to cache the results, so I'm not constantly hitting that database all the time. And one other thing I would mention is that I learned about pools. So I'm actually creating a pool using the Postgres middleware to do so on the backend. And so that was helpful learning that it would not be ideal to create a client in this case, given that there's going to be many queries to the database, and that it's better to create a pool in such cases. This application is fairly simple, but it was a great exercise to better familiarize myself with Tailwind CSS to create a dark theme map, and to introduce myself to Postgres to store relational data, and to practice my skills with React by creating functional components that have parents and children that receive props from their parents, and using the use state and use effect hooks. And lastly, also practicing my Express.js skills and just setting up simple routes with HTTP methods, and also using middleware where it's appropriate, including the Cores middleware and the Postgres middleware. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching.